If you want to learn more about the general physical preparation training philosophy, we put together an extremely practical course covering all the different aspects of physical preparation, as well as a unit on programming, so you know how to tie it all together and produce the same world-class results that we get with our athletes. We've got pre-recorded lectures, a community page where you can ask questions and interact with the other GPP coaches, as well as monthly calls where you can ask questions live or just catch up and hang out with us. Check out the link in the show notes for more info.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the High Performance Podcast. We've got a little bit of a new show format we're coming at you with. Me and Jacob, we're just we're such fans of sport and training, and we're always DMing each other clips back and forth, and we're like, wait, why don't we just turn this into a show? All of our favorite clips that me and Jacob have sent back and forth, or just insane stuff that's happening in the sporting world. We'll just react to the clips, have a little bit of a discussion about what's going on, and we just thought it would be awesome content. It also hit me the other day that, you know what, the same way that Billy Corgan was pressured to change the name of the Smashing Pumpkins after he'd just been through so many lineup changes over the years, and he was like, well, you know, it's Billy Corgan and this is the Smashing Pumpkins. I don't feel the same way about the High Performance Podcast. I was attached to the name because it was just like a legacy of a podcast that I had with my brother, but I feel like it ultimately has become its own show now. Oscar's not coming back, so maybe we will call it the GPP podcast or the GPP show or something like that. But enough of the somber tones as we talk about, me not getting over the High Performance Podcast. Let's rip into this. So we thought for the intro, rather than just talking about the most exciting clips for this week, we'd just do a little bit of a 2024 wrap up, because it was a big year of sport. There was a lot that happened, a lot of good stuff, a lot of bad stuff. A lot of stuff that made us think, a lot of stuff that made us cry, but most importantly, a lot of stuff that made us smile and got us G'd up to fucking train. So, Jacob, what's the first cab off the rank? Because we both got
is Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. Ryan Garcia absolutely shocking the world with his mental and chemical warfare against Devin Haney. So, yeah, what do you have to say to that, Gus? There's a lot to say.
It was so shocking because I very much wanted Ryan Garcia to win, but I thought that there's no way in hell. But there was just a bit of me where I was like, is he playing up the crazy? Like, I think that Ryan Garcia is legitimately crazy, but I mean, and it turns out that that's what happened, that he played up the crazy. Like, yes, he was partying a bit, but he exaggerated it. And again, the most impressive thing to me was when you just go back and when you have a look at all the interviews that he did one-on-one with a bit of an older boxing journalist, because you know how there's a lot of new media since all the YouTubers got into the boxing game and stuff. He'd be doing an interview with like the full send MMA journalist or something like that, or the full send boxing journalist, and like hand it up, I've been getting fucking loose. Yeah, who knows what's going to happen in there? But all of these like 50 plus 60-year-old boxing journalists that just had him one-on-one after a hard training session, he was just giving them regular interviews. He was just sober as a fucking judge, talking straight. So just when you're genuinely going through something, and when you're genuinely a bit crazy, and when you're also dealing with the side effects of injecting yourself with various hormones and stuff like that, I just think it's phenomenal that he was able to put it together and say what you want. Like, everyone hates Devin Haney, not because he sucks, but because he is the best in an annoying way. He's the hit and don't get hit guy. He doesn't lay dudes out. He doesn't have many big finishes or anything like
Point
that.
Merchant,
it's not like he also has a suspect chin. He cuts a lot of weight, so he gets accused of being a weight bully. And just to see him get done like that, I mean, this might be a little bit too, maybe I was harboring too much resentment towards Devin Haney, but yeah, fuck, it was insane. And also just this whole thing of like, Devin Haney summed it up leading into the fight. He's like, one, I don't know if this guy's taking it seriously. Didn't know whether he was coming or going. He's like, he's just got a left hook. Not even a left hand. He's like, it's just a left hook. And how many fucking times?
And he still threw it and he lands.
You said it. All he has is the left hook. Get your fucking club up. Oh.
As if you bring it down, yeah. And shout out to my cousin that I was probably at a family dinner party. He goes, you know what? I remember, was it Muhammad Ali? He like drove past one of his opponent's house, like in a fire truck, started going ballistic back in the day. And then he goes to me, I think this is what's going on with Ryan Garcia. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll take your word for it. Chucked a little bit of money on there. And then there you go. So yeah, I mean, did not expect that for sure. But yeah, that was crazy. And then now I think it's classified as a loss technically after all that for Ryan
Has
Garcia.
it been settled though? Oh, so back it is a loss. It's been taken off the record. But see, that's the thing. The streets won't forget.
Yeah, no, the streets will never forget. Let's see Devin Haney. Devin Haney's record. Let's see on Box Rec. Yeah, 31 wins.
Dang.
Oh wow.
That's crazy. I mean, and it's kind of fair, but yeah, I mean, we all saw it. We all saw it.
Yeah, we can't unsee it. You can't hide it as much as you'd want, but yeah, crazy. Cool. All right, shall we move on? Let's go now. We have actually a very, very recent occurrence from this date is Costa. I forgot his last name. So this is basically the cricket.
So it's Sam Costa is the full name.
Oh, Sam Costa. Okay. Yeah. And he's just absolutely scoop shot his way. I think, and it was against Virat Kohli that the whole drama's been where he gave him a little shove.
Virat Kohli is the most informed bowler in the world right now, has been for a while. He hasn't been hit for six. So for anyone who's not Australian, who doesn't know the rules of cricket, I mean, if you're a Yank, just think about similar to baseball. And it's sort of like our equivalent of a home run. When you hit it over the perimeter without it bouncing, that's called hitting it for six, and you get 6 points instead of just the normal 1 or 2 or however many times you could run between the wickets. And yeah, so he ended this guy. He hadn't been hit for a six in over 2,200 bowls or deliveries. And then he just got absolutely trick shotted, which is no one does a scoop shot like that. And doing it as a 19-year-old on international test debut against the most informed bowler in the world is fucking legendary. And it put him on tilt for the rest of the game as well, because tried to give him a bit of a shoulder charge. I mean, it wasn't a good, I don't think you should be in a game of cricket trying to get physically aggressive to a guy who's about 8 inches taller than you and 8 years younger than you. It's just made him come across as a little bit of a bitch. Crazy. Like, just put the fucking ball through his skull. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the fucking veteran move. Bowl it straight at his fucking body. But he didn't do it because he's going to get fucking scooped again.
Yeah, so I didn't really know what a scoop shot was. I'm Australian, cricket's very prominent, but looking at these, it's like sort of guiding the ball to the six. So look at that. Just sort of just nudging it, just let it go its path. Oh, look at that. I didn't even know
he seems possible. Like a bit of a specimen, because there was a photo. So he's been getting mentored by David Warner, who's notorious cheat and great sledger. So it's a good influence to have over our young upcoming talent, especially if we're taking winning seriously. But he's got to be at least 6'4". Could even be a little bit bigger. An absolute behemoth.
Is he 6'4"? Wow.
Big man.
Yeah, jeez. And I love the bump. Imagine being that salty. Like, dude, I would respect
being that guy and just knowing that you got him a little bit and pulling a move like that on debut.
Yeah.
Gets the boys going.
Oh, legendary stuff. Legendary stuff. Yeah. All right. Sorry for butchering that to start, team, but yeah, that was the scoop shot there. Next we got a
bit better with the Greek names living in Melbourne.
Yeah, I know. And being Greek myself, lol. You'd think. Okay, next we got another young'un in the Australian sporting scene. Gout Gout breaks Australia's long-standing men's 200-meter record. So I think we'll open it by actually watching the race.
Now, uncultured people will look at this and be like, "Oh, this kid, he doesn't have very good acceleration." But it's like, with his frame and his top end, it's like, fuck. Oh my God.
Look, so that's just scary.
This is about as much max velocity as Usain Bolt, Noah Lyles. I mean, I think he's already broken Usain Bolt's max velocity. Again, not that it's just a max velocity contest, but yeah, so I believe Noah Lyles has the fastest. Sorry, it's not Noah Lyles. Is it? Also, sorry, what I'm going off, I don't actually know the max velocity, and I don't know if we have that accurate recordings of people's max velocity, or they probably do when they release all the segments and things like that. But what I'm basing it off is the time of their second 100 in the 200-meter race. So
okay.
I believe it's Johan Blake that has the fastest second 100 ever. Then it's Noah Lyles. Then it's Usain Bolt. But it could be Lyles, Blake, Bolt, which is it's just, I guess it's not all about fucking long limbs when it comes to max velocity. I mean, when you look at Johan Blake, how tall is Noah Lyles? I don't think Noah Lyles is as short as Johan Blake, but I don't think he's much over like 5'7", 5'8".
Noah Lyles is 1.77 meters. So that's quite short.
5'8", I think. 5'7", 5'8", so I was kind of right. Gout Gout, I mean, he just got a $6 million Adidas contract. His dad is saying that his name's, what is it? Gout, not Gout, Gout, or something like that.
Oh, okay.
I was reading it. I didn't actually hear him say it. It would have been nice actually if it was a video interview, so could have got some audio pronunciation. But then I noticed Gout Gout's manager has come out and be like, "Fuck Gout's dad, it's Gout Gout," which I think is pretty aggressive. I think the manager just clearly, yeah. So I can see where the manager's coming from a fuck everything but money perspective. I reckon he's just like Gout, like. Same with John Florence. And I think a lot of people, because everyone loves making that joke, so good, you had to name him twice. But it is just something, it rolls off the tongue. And obviously you've got to have world-class talent. But when you've got a few other sort of things going on in the mix, it does make it a bit easier to flog shoes or board shorts or whatever you're trying to sell off the back of them. But everyone, whenever we see young talent like this, people love to sort of dream into the future about the potential. But then you also hear all these other people like, oh, we've got to make sure that we get him around the right coach. Some coach is going to try to make a name off this young kid and burn him out young or something like that. But I've seen a lot of interviews with his coach. She's a bit of an older lady. Apparently she's a legend of the track game. I'm just a bit uncultured. I'm not familiar with her backgrounds, but she has a pretty solid reputation. Everything that she's sort of saying, it seems like all the people around him get it. They're like, look, we don't need a world record holder in the next 24 months. We just sort of need to get him. It sort of looks like a lot of people break world records for male sprinters in the shorter distances, 24, 25, sort of that premium age. Obviously, we've seen people run, sub 10 into their 40s even. Some people hit PBs in their 40s running into the sub 10s. But yeah, I think Usain Bolt was about 25, 26. Safa Powell before him broke the world record same age. Couldn't fucking tell you who had the world record before that, but I'm sure they were about that age as well. So we're looking at we've got a nice, smooth downhill run. We're looking at 7 years of development. You've got to take another 0.8 off his, what's his 200? He's in the 19s.
2.0, no. I think it was 20 something. Low 20s?
2004.
Oh, no. It's 20.
I thought it was 19.
Yeah, 2004.
Oh, did I get so he's got to get down a 0.85 of a second. He's got to find
2007, 2007.
So 0.9 of a second. Pretty fucking doable, I reckon. And then in his 100, he's got to take half a second off his 100. Fuck, you got to be quick.
7. That's 7 years to shave that much. Is that doable?
Yeah. I mean, like when you're looking at that kid, like there's so much just like raw natural talent. I'm not trying to take away from the hard work that he's already done, but I wonder what he looks like just in the weight room and stuff. I know back squat his way to a world record, but I'm like,
I know.
A little bit more meat on those sticks. Holy shit.
Put more force
in can you imagine taking that kid through some Bosch shit? Oh my God. Please don't go full Bosch with Gout. Keep the water bags away from him.
Get him away. Pop the bags. Let the water come out.
He's got enough attractors. Too much of a
What would you say is a lever you would pull on? Focus on his acceleration or just keep doubling down on his top speed?
I mean, if were you asking me what I want to do in my heart of hearts, a little bit of steroids. Just a little, yeah, honestly, like
just a bit.
Yeah, 100%. Oh my God. Oh.
Yeah, I mean anything for that Australian gold.
Mm.
I'm sure we can come up with something.
But honestly,
doing
like
it
I
anyway,
reckon
allegedly.
you could leave. I reckon you could leave him to his own resources, and he'd figure out how to run a world record.
Yeah, I mean, you only know your body the most, so I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he probably knows. You know, as an athlete, what you suck at deep down.
I reckon you could have a chat about what do you reckon is the path forward here. He'd be like, all right, sort out the acceleration, like prioritize that. I don't even know. Anyway, fucking whatever. Next clip.
Next clip. Okay, what do we have next? Okay, we got John Florence getting his 3rd world title.
So a little bit of context.
I'm not as versed in this, so yeah.
John Florence has been the next Kelly Slater since he was like 10 or 12 years old. He got identified as the next guy. And I mean, no one's going to really be the next Kelly Slater. It's going to be fucking impossible for anyone to get 11 world titles. But John, he got 2 world titles. And what sort of puts you into a next level surfer who's in the conversation of one of the greats of all time, especially competitively speaking, is getting 3 world titles. So 3 world titles puts you on the level of Gabriel Medina, Mick Fanning, Tom Curran, Michael Peterson, Mick Peterson, however the fuck you say it. So it's like it's this was the fucking turn that essentially won in the final. So
how the hell did he get out of that?
Shin angles. So yeah, so they'll show you a slow-mo. Have a look. Okay, so this is just one of the turns on the inside to finish. But it's this first turn. So it's called a layback maneuver. And there's so many Darian Bar concepts going on here. Come on,
just so much center
Larry.
of mass.
Also, fucking John Florence, 6 foot, 90 kilos. Or just under 90 kilos.
Lean, obviously.
So you just fall back, but your feet will stay glued to the board. And then you just try to pull your heels to your butt, and then that'll create a shin angle change where you then dorsiflex yourself into an upright position. It's fucking phenomenal. But yeah, so now they have a more head-to-head format. It used to just be who won the most.
Is it this one here you're talking about?
Who got the highest? Yeah, this first turn. Who got the highest position in each competition on average throughout the year? But then just before the last competition, they see who's in the top 5, and then they make them all go head-to-head. So obviously I'm rooting hard for Jack Robinson. Jack Robinson
literally looks like he fails.
His prime. Yeah, well, and Jack Robinson is meant to be the next John, but because he's a bit younger, I'm not as stressed out about him. I'm like, his world titles will come. But John Florence, he won his first 2 titles, and then he just had a really bad run with injuries and stuff like that. And he's also a little bit of a free spirit. John Florence, he likes to fuck off on his sailboat and just go sailing around the Pacific Islands or sailing around the world, adventuring, searching for new waves. So he is a real waterman, but every now and then he just gets that little pull, be like, oh, I've got to remind everyone who's the fucking best in the world. So shout out to John Florence for inspiring me. Also, so his brother as well. It's the Florence brothers. So there's John Florence, Nathan Florence, Ivan Florence. Nathan Florence got sick of being in his brother's shadow and just decided to be just the slab hunter. So he's the guy I'm always shouting out watching his YouTube channel. For anyone listening, even if you're not a surfer, go check out Nathan Florence's YouTube channel. It's basically he just looks at the global weather map. He's like, where's the most swell right now and the best winds? And he just shows up at the heaviest waves in everyone's backyard and tries to paddle waves that no one's ever paddled before.
Definitely major.
And so Nathan took out Pipe Masters this year. And sorry, this is how shit the surfing industry is. So Vans, the Pipeline Masters, that's the most prestigious surfing event in the history of fucking surfing. The Vans, they don't invite as a wild card the best surfer at that break because they're like, oh, he's too old. It's like, we're still fucking dominating the break. They didn't even set up a fucking live stream. 2024, shout out to Vans. You make great shoes, but you're a fucking terrible company. Absolutely terrible at putting together surfing events. Nathan Florence, not only did he win the Pipe Masters this year, he live streamed the whole fucking thing to YouTube for him as well.
Wait, how? Like, talk about off his GoPro or something.
Yeah, just sitting on the beach with his laptop. And no, he had his GoPro in his mouth for his vlogs later because he was like, fuck this, I'm just making content out of the whole thing. This is why I love the guy. About that life. And then, yeah, just had the laptop set up on the beach, live streaming it for everyone else. Also, I mean, going on into too many details about the surfing industry right now, but the surf industry basically collapsed in the early 2010s and it hasn't really recovered. And a lot of pro surfers just used to be on the fattest fucking sponsorship endorsements, but a lot of that is sort of pulled back unless you're just absolutely at the top of the fucking top. Like you got one of the biggest YouTube channels or like top 5 ranked surfer on the World Surfing Tour. John Florence just went out and started his own surfing brand as well. And it's much more focused on, I don't know, less focused on following trends, actually producing good equipment, because surfing is one of those things where it's kind of like a fashion thing, but then you also need your shit to be functional, reliable, and actually work. So yeah, just couldn't speak highly enough of the Florence brothers and just the total global impact that they're having on the surf community.
We definitely need a surfer on. Have we had a surfer on?
You know who we got to get on? Got to get on Mick Fanning. He was kind of like OG, like Aussie legend, has 3 world titles. Also was the first surfer to be like publicly hardcore into his S&C.
Really? What was he doing?
Fucking S&C.
Just slanging weights.
Because you know how like the classic thing in surf and S&C is like you just get shit underloaded exercises and add thoracic rotation into them. The only like surf specific thing I remember Mick Fanning doing is he'd get a med ball on the end of a rope and he'd sit in the corner of the gym, like a 90-degree sort of corner, and swing the ball at one and then violently swing it to the other side.
Oh, that's not even specific.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, it was Chad shit. It was almost as good as what Ilo Ferreira's doing. Actually, can I show you one thing? This fucking made me smile. This made me smile hardcore. So this is
this the guy you keep sharing that's just doing leg extensions and bicep curls?
Yeah, bro. And I feel like he hasn't responded to a single thing I've posted, but I'm like, are you just trying to feed me even more shit? So this is world champion and Olympic champion Italo Ferreira. Send the pic to Jacob. This is what he posted on his Instagram this morning. So he loves his bodybuilding. You know, there was a surf contest in Newcastle a couple of years ago, and in between heats, he was down at the local Anytime Fitness hitting heavy 6s on the fucking leg press. And everyone's like, no, you got to fucking, you can't just train like a bodybuilder or a rugby player if you're a surfer. No. It's about who he's holding hands with.
Oh. Holy shit.
That's his coach. That's his surfing S&C coach. He got a real one. He was like, screw all this cuck shit. I don't want to stand on fucking Bosu balls. I don't want to be put on a fucking skateboard and told to do fucking surf moves on it. He's like, I'll just get someone who actually has sniffed a weight room before in their fucking life. I bet that guy surfs better than most surfing S&C coaches. Despite the fact that a lot of surfing S&C coaches are built like surfers, not many of them can fucking rip. They just we'll do a whole episode on that.
Yeah, we'll cover that separately in another time. All right, next we got Mondo beating Warholm in a 100-meter race. So I believe these are not actual sprinters, right? One's the high jumper.
So Warholm, up until recently, was the 400-meter hurdles world record holder. Sorry, he might still have the world record, but he was reigning Olympic and world champion. He didn't win the Olympics this year. Obviously, it's hard to win the Olympics every fucking time. Maybe he still has the world record. But then Mondo is even more dominant in his sport, which is pole vault. Mondo, I believe, was the first guy. He took the world record over 6 meters, and he's been the one to take it from 6 meters or below 6 meters all the way to, I believe his current record, which he set at the most recent Olympic Games, is 6 meters and 22 centimeters.
Wow, he runs this 10-second 100.
Well, and so this is the thing. He can hit close to 10 meters a second with the pole vault in his hands. and so this is the thing. Like Warholm's running technique is so centered around like this 400-meter pace and this hurdling technique. Like he runs that fast for 400 meters, not precisely that fast, but he runs about that fast, whether there's hurdles there or whether there's not hurdles. Warholm is just locked in at that over 10 meters.
I also think like there's probably
distance and whatever he's going over.
Yeah, I think there'd be like maybe some hesitation that he has to break, sort of thing. And I don't know if that would affect his all-out
I
sprinting
don't think
capabilities.
it's that
but-
either. It's also like, it's not a very long approach in the pole vault. I think they got about 40 meters or something like that. So it's like Mondo's acceleration is mean. And like I said, it's not like Carlson Warholm has this insane max velocity. I think he kind of got stitched up. I think Mondo knew exactly what the fuck he was getting himself into. I think Warholm's a gamer as well. I mean, credit to Warholm. So many athletes don't want to put themselves in a risky situation like that where they could potentially, people could judge them for losing or something like that. So I want to see Mondo just go on a run. Because you see Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone was like, I'll go head to head. I think it even might have been a 300, but maybe it was a 400. And
is Sydney 400 meters?
Sydney is another 400 hurdler, I believe.
Oh, right.
I don't think she runs the regular 400, but she's more dominant than Carson Warholm, but a woman. So, but fucking, it's it's like harder to run as fast. They're still fucking quick, but quicker than me.
All right. So next one we have is all I got is Ali Raza hip smash. True.
Get a load of this. Okay, so let me set the scene for you.
Do you want me to play the clip or no?
Yeah, just play the clip and I'll talk over it. So
21 years old.
I'll get to that. People, I think everyone sort of understands that a 260 kilo clean and jerk is a big lift, but that is sort of the benchmark at an international weightlifting competition when there's elite super heavyweights. It's like, are we maybe going to see a 260 kilo plus clean and jerk? So the world record, I believe, is I think it's 267, or maybe it's only 265. I can't remember when it got reset. Sorry, this gentleman is apparently 19, and he has had that hairline since he's been 17. And
21. Yes.
Make whatever assumptions you want to make about what sort of supplement regime this young stud's on. But what I love about this is people will tell you that you can't hip smash in weightlifting. And I'm like, look at this guy. This is like one of the greatest hip smashes. But the thing is with the hip smash, usually their timing on the catch will be disrupted. There'll be separation between them and the bar. This guy meets, put the fucking cramp. That's him being like, where's my toupee? Where's my fucking toupee?
Crazy.
Just a young fucking Chad. But have a look at this. How does he turn this into upward momentum? Not this, but this. Oos. They're like, don't lean back at the top of the pool. He's like, yeah, fucking whatever.
Yeah, no worries, bro. I won't do that.
Look how close it stays. Look how high, like there's just no separation. The bar is an extension of this.
The bar is him. Yeah.
And he's got that Ilya Ilan timing. So this is so clutch, this jerk technique. And so the only other person I've seen pull this off, my goat, Ilya Ilan, there's something coming up that's a little bit of a reference to Ilya that also happened at this Worlds. But to do the bounce jerk, so have a look at this. So he cannot afford to miss the bounce on the recovery from the clean because it'll fuck up his jerk. Because he would just go, bar goes bounce, and then on the third one, he rips it to get the momentum from the bar wobbling in the jerk. Just let me watch it one more time. I'm not over it.
Hip smash.
Oh. He's a human trebuchet.
Were you talking about this bounce or?
So he has to catch this bounce because you know how I'll get buried down there and then bang, and then the third one, he goes with the bounce. See how the bar's bouncing with him? He's doing this little pogo. And then again, right at the apex of the bar height. That's where he locks it out. This is phenomenal. Very efficient, man. Well, so what's going to hold him back is a lot of super heavyweights who aren't really tall with big hands. They get these fat, stumpy fingers when they put on all the weight to fill out their super heavyweight frame, but that messes up their hook grip sometimes because of the fat.
So is it uncapped, the super heavyweights?
Yes, but it is artificially capped by health for some of them, but more commonly thumb fatness. So that's what they sort of say, like super heavyweights, Olympic weightlifters are born. You can't really make them just by getting a a big-ish guy, really, really big, and putting a bunch of weight on him, because you just have to have that canvas where you can fatten them up a bunch. And because even just from lifting, your fingers start to get fatter and more calloused and stuff. So it's that combination of, if you've got stubby fingers, you get pretty fat, you get a whole bunch of calluses and stuff. It's like, good luck fitting your thumb in there behind your other fingers to get a decent hook. So it becomes a serious issue. It's like, for a lot of very small female weightlifters, a lot of them can struggle to form a hook, even with the women's bar. Because again, if you're really muscular as a 50-kilo woman, like, it's probably got some tiny hands. But yeah, and then some of the smaller weight classes with the men as well will struggle with their hook grip, but then also big, super heavyweights with not big enough hands.
Okay, cool. Now we have
a very dismissive tone. He doesn't care about the fat hand stories.
No.
It's
interesting. It's interesting. It's interesting. I'll give him. No sausage fingers here.
Is the next one
Rinadinov? Sorry, you pronounce it, Gus.
So this is Ruslan Nurendinov.
There we go. That was
funny. Actually, his mentor in his early days is actually a weightlifting coach in Sydney. Shout out to Ricky from Athletica Weightlifting. He's from the same weightlifting camp as this bloke. So you guys might be familiar with Ruslan Nurendinov when he was much younger. I mean, he looked exactly the same. In 2014, the World Weightlifting Championships in Kazakhstan, it was the return of Ilya Ilin, his debut in the under 105 kilo class, where he set that crazy world record of 242 kilos in the clean and jerk. No one has got close to that number in this weight class for over 10 years until Ruslan Nurendinov. And I swear to God, the lift he took before this, he took such a big fucking jump, and it was like his second attempt looked heavy as fuck, and he went up like 9 kilos into this, and people were like, there is no way. I mean, he put in a lift before he declared this as his final attempt. He put in 239 kilos or 238, and people were like, no way. Like, is he even going to come out for this, or is he just sort of putting a number down just to sort of celebrate winning and already being the heaviest clean and jerker on the day, being like, oh, maybe I could do this, but then went up to 240 fucking 2. Have a look at this. So this contrast this with the hip smash of Ali. This is like a much sexier, slightly more textbook. Does he still get his shoulders a fair bit behind the bar? Oh, my boy is scooping a little. Oh no, it's so much more polite. Such a more upright finish. But again, like the key elements are there. We need to go back. The way how close it stays to their chest. Like, a jerk's just automatic.
I noticed with the previous guy that the split wasn't as large. There was not much more not much bigger base of support as this one.
No, he's just a fat man.
Oh.
Yeah.
No science behind that.
No, I just looking for some physics.
All right, let's watch this again.
Let's just watch the clean one more time. It's fucking, yeah. Yeah, kiss it. I love the first pull, tongue out, we're just chilling. And then he fucking drops the hammer, fucking enter the mid stance. Like, there is something just very horny about feet being totally flat and knee bending your way into hip extension. It gets me going.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, like, when you look at that clean, you're like, I could clean my max deadlift if I could keep it that close. It's just...
Yeah, amazing.
Li Wenwen, step aside because there's someone even younger and even stronger. So Li Wenwen, I'm pretty sure Li Wenwen is only in her first year as a senior weightlifter. She's already a world record holder in the snatch and in the total, world champion, Olympic champion. And then Li Yan, I had never heard of this lady, even younger, got multiple years, so at least 2 years left as a junior. This comes out and takes her world record. And so this was the thing. A lot of people look at both Li Wenwen and Li Yan as snatch specialists. Li Yan can clean and jerk like a motherfucker too. Li Wenwen is not bad at clean and jerking. I think she sort of put up I believe she's put up more than 170. I'm not sure if she's touched 180, but Lee Yan is. I would be a little bit disappointed if we didn't see her put up a 200 kilo clean and jerk at some point. She's just going to do disgusting fucking things with that women's bar. I think we need to have a serious conversation about. I don't know.
Unreal.
Is the women's
What's her
bar
clean?
too much for the big ladies? Let me have a look at what she totaled. Pretty sure she put 185 on the bar.
Insane.
Oh, sorry. She only clean and jerked 175, but she would have had it wrapped up on like her second clean and jerk attempt. So I think the 175 was just to pull the total world record.
So crazy.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I need to emphasize this was her international debut.
It's crazy how these people can just rise up to the occasion.
I've said this with like other Olympic champions, but imagine you sign up for a sport and you go to a local meet and you're the best there. And then you go to a state meet and you're the best there. And then you make the national team as a junior and you're like, fuck, does anyone fucking lift hard around here? And you show
is anyone good?
Yeah, and you're like, what are you cunts doing? You're not ripping them? Like, you're not fucking pushing into the ground or something? Or like, you ever heard about
delaying knee extension?
Or like, bro, yeah, you'd be like, what are these idiots fucking doing? You just, unbelievable.
Get it up there.
Yeah, so international debut, just ripping a fucking senior world record, as you do.
Casually.
Jesus fucking Christ. Also, one other thing I'll say, shout out to North Korea. Yeah, because North Korea, they couldn't make the Olympics. I don't know. I don't think they're allowed at the Olympics, or maybe they are allowed in the Olympics. Anyway, they weren't there. They're at the World Championships. They don't do any domestic drug testing. I don't know how much they get tested even at the comp. They won. I'm pretty sure they hauled in like every single women's medal bar like 4 gold medals. They were podiuming gold and silver, male and female, in every single weight class up until you sort of start to get to the top of middleweight or the light heavyweight divisions. You can make your own assumptions as to why they struggle in the heavier weight classes based on stereotypes. I don't know if it's true or not. Could just be rumors. But yeah, they are such a fucking force in international weightlifting, North Korea. And everyone's just absolutely fuming about it because, again, like no one from any other domestic weightlifting organization is going to go into North Korea and try to collect piss and blood off those athletes. But
is there any information about their training regimen? Like what sort of style they're into?
No. So because the weightlifting age is now, it's like even in these Eastern European countries, they're like weightlifting juggernauts. Like they love posting their lifts on. Maybe like if they hit a really big lift that's like way above the world record, the coach be like, fuck, like, you know, you trying to get drug tested extra? Like, let's keep that off your page until after the contest. So they withhold a bit, but like usually you know what kind of shape people are in heading into competition. North Korea, you just see fucking nothing till they rock up to the training hall and just do like world record numbers in their opening day. You're like, oh, we're about to see some shit.
Oh, shit.
And then everyone's like, hey, they should be drug tested regularly. And everyone's like, yeah, someone go do it. No one's doing it.
Yeah, someone actually put the action in place here.
Yeah.
I guess it'd be scary. Okay, so that's pretty much our Olympic lifting segment.
Bro, do you reckon there's
Continue.
Do you reckon there's some North Korean weightlifting coach with a VPN in the Bill Hartman calls?
and his camera. That is such a crazy,
bro.
crazy
that would be imagine.
And it's just cameras off all the time.
Not even that. I'm like, I wonder if North Korea's ever sniffed any of my stuff. They like download the free Plyo program or like, come on.
Under some alias, under some American alias. Probably. They do some crazy stuff. Anyway, yeah. All right. I don't know if we'll glance over this because it's being drained to absolute however you want to say it, but Max Holloway's KO I've put in at UFC 300.
We had to have it. It's been broken down to shit, but part of the reason is obviously it was such an iconic moment to us.
Are we playing? Okay, let's play.
Oh, wait, no. Yeah. All right. No, we'll mention it.
Yeah. We'll mention
No, we don't. It's because that was the thing we were worried about, particularly we tried to avoid anything specifically from the Olympics. There were some hectic moments, but we just worried about getting kicked off YouTube or having copyright claims and stuff like that. And just same with a couple of the UFC moments. But we'll see how we go for future episodes.
Setting the scene, I think Max Holloway was very much the underdog and I think what was his last fight against? Was it Volk? No, it wasn't Volk. Was it?
No. So he'd had like the pretty hectic loss against Volk. I reckon the last guy, he would have beat up Arnold Allen. It was
Korean Zombie?
before that, Arnold Allen. Oh, was Korean Zombie the more recent win for him?
Oh, let's check.
Yeah, probably. Because based off rankings, it doesn't make sense. But maybe then Holloway just did it because the schedule worked out and to be the Zombie's last fight.
The last fight was Chad Sung. Oh, Korean Zombie. Yep.
Oh, was it?
It was Korean Zombie. Then it was Arnold Allen. Yeah. So yeah, I think people were counting him out. Gaethje just came off the win against Poirier, the head kick. And yeah.
And you know what it was as well? It was just how Holloway seemed a little bit outgunned when he briefly tried to move up to lightweight when he fought Poirier for the interim belt a couple of years ago on the same card as Izzy versus Gastelum. And I think it was like people acknowledged that he was going to eat up into the weight class a little bit more and bulk up a little bit more, but I don't know if people like really processed it and believed it because I mean, it sort of seems like that's what he did. Because even though he managed to punctuate the fight with that final sequence, it's like he dominated the whole fight. Like I think people misremember it as a more competitive fight than it actually was. Gaethje definitely had his moments. I mean, he dropped him. But it was really just only that moment and a couple of exchanges where it did look competitive. Other than that, it was like basically one-way traffic.
He was doing that roundhouse body kick that was just stinging him as well. I think in one of the rounds might have had some liver stuff.
I thought that was super high IQ. Just that putting a punctuation mark on the end of every single fucking round. And it's not uncommon for a lot of fighters to do it, but just a kick like that thrown in the last couple of seconds of a fight negates so many of the downsides that are typically associated with throwing a spinning technique like that. Like throw it a bit sloppy, you miss bad, they catch an angle on you, a lot of the time expose you to having your back taken. Doesn't matter if you get your back taken with fucking 2 seconds on the clock. So, and again, there's a huge potential upside of your opponent rushing in then as well. And that technique just punishes it so much. So underrated move. Shout out to Joe Rogan. He definitely rips him hard. GSP rips him hard. Shout out to John Jones.
John Jones, yeah, put away.
Back kicks great again.
Yeah. So yeah, and then obviously we know last second KO. He could have just walked off. Had the match to himself. He won how many rounds? You reckon he won all rounds there?
He pitched a shutout, yeah. I mean, he was even winning the last round. And, you know, it wasn't dirty by any stretch of the imagination. But I feel like Justin Gaethje wasn't paying attention to the clock because he just threw like a rolling thunder kick. And you can see he kind of gets up and then just takes a little bit of a labored breath. And then Max Holloway points to the ground. And you almost see this like workman-like reaction from Gaethje, almost like his boss has been like, nah, Smoko ended 5 minutes ago. Get back to work. You just see this obligation where Gaethje's like, yeah, I know. I'm the guy who is. I can't not. Like, yes, I did just jump and throw a flip fucking 5 rounds deep into a fight. But yeah, I'll go and trade with like... Whatever, you got to protect yourself at all times. But that was like, there was a little bit of it that honestly reminded me of, you know, when Yair, actually, you probably weren't a UFC fan back then and you haven't watched it live. You know, the Yair Rodriguez, like, back elbow that knocked out Korean Zombie?
Yes, I do. I've seen that.
So it happened right at the end of their fight. There was just so many weird moments leading up to that because they had a great fight. Korean Zombie was like dominating the fight, was like just not edging out every round, but like comfortably outpointing him in most of the rounds. But then throughout the 5th round, like every 30 seconds, Yair just kept trying to initiate hugs with him. You know, when fighters do that thing, you're like, fuck, man, like this has just been a fucking war. Let's dap each other up and then sort of get back to war. he kept sort of doing that. And Chen Sung-jung, Korean Zombie, kept sort of being confused by it, being like, man, what's going on? I don't fucking speak English. I don't know what it means when you sort of stand out there and gesture like you want to hug me. I think it was really confusing him. And there was just like 3 moments like that in the last minute of the fight. And then that weird flurry. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I do remember. He was absolutely slumped, wasn't he?
Oh, it was fucking brutal. And like I said, iconic KO from Yair, but I was like, a little bit, some tricky stuff going on. And again, with Holloway, I'm like, and that's it, whatever. Holloway would have been doing that regardless. It's not, I don't think he would have seen the Gaethje just throw a rolling thunder. It's like, oh, now's the time to do it. He just hears the clap the last 10 seconds of the round and goes. But yeah, unfortunate timing for Gaethje.
Yeah, great. Yeah, it's I like that 1-2 to the body and then upstairs. I feel like that was definitely practiced for sure.
Oh.
Just like that Conor McGregor against Aldo, like he was doing it in the locker room. I'm pretty sure like he doesn't go into those point to the ground moments and just like unrehearsed. Like he's definitely,
you just know he's done it more than you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Like you want to have the upper hand when you're doing that stuff somehow. Okay. But yeah. All right. So next one we have, one of the last few ones, is the Swans eating shit in the 4th grand final. And then Gus written here, worse than whatever Jacob's dealing with. I'm a Bomber supporter. I haven't seen. And
I forgot I left that in.
Yeah, let's go through an actual funny stat. So we have, what's his name? Oh, one of the players. Let me bring it up.
You talking about Dane Rampy?
No, the person that won
grand final losing machine.
Yeah, him as well. There's a guy that won the Coleman medal for the Brisbane Lions. Forgot his name. Young guy. So the stat is that this guy his parents had him as a kid. He grew up, played junior footy, came all the way into debuting into the AFL, played his first AFL game and first season, got injured with his ACL, came back next season, won the granny, won the Coleman, hasn't won a final. A finals game as well. So
wow, that's brutal.
Yeah, that's how long it's been. Yep. So anyway, it's not about Essendon. Sub story. Yeah, the Sydney Swans just can't really capitalize as of late in the finals. So many opportunities. But
I wouldn't give a fuck if I didn't become a Swans fan literally like the year that they lost the first of these 4 grand finals, because my NRL team has been on a rough run. So I was like, hey, fuck it. I'll just find another fucking ball sport to pay attention to. Oh, what's that? My local AFL team's pretty dominant at the moment. Just not quite dominant enough. Like dominant in the regular season and then just getting fucking licked every second year in the grand final. And it honestly took me until this year to really get that feeling going into it. Like, oh yeah, we fucking lose these. And sorry, here's the other thing. So I think 3 out of the 4 of them, we've been the favorites going in. 2 of them, we've been leading, and there's been like a historic 70+ point comeback or turnaround.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is that you guys had the most dominant season. Like I forgot what the win streak was. You guys won an absolute tear.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys want an absolute tear. And the thing is with footy, like you can't peak too early. That's the same what happened to us as well. Like you need to have like a mid-season peak or a tail end
periodization.
Peak. Yeah, just periodization. Yeah, it comes down to Brisbane to periodization. So at the end of the day. So yeah, peaked at the right time. The same with the Hawthorn. There was such a shit team leading up to the season. I think they had 4 straight losses, and then they ended up making it to the preliminary final and lost. But yeah, so yeah, Brisbane got it done after getting done last year to Collingwood in the final, just losing out. Controversial umpiring as well. You know, one of the players had a throw and it wasn't called. So yeah, they got it back in blood, I guess you'd say. So yeah, that's
Do people interview Dane Rampy about this, or do they just fucking leave him be?
I think they do, but yeah, it is sad.
What is there to say?
Yeah. Let me see something. It's not the common medal, sorry guys. Common medal is the most goals kicked.
Is it Norm Smith medal?
It's Norm Smith, yes. And the player is Will Ashcroft. That's who the player is. That's the analogy I made at the start about him, his parents having him and all that. So
That is fucking true.
that's where I am as an Essendon supporter. So yeah.
Anyway, look out for this. It's going to be a weekly show. And if you haven't, so what we want this to be is like, just any sick training clips from any of your favorite athletes or favorite sporting teams, something like that, or any crazy sporting performances you've seen, submit it, see if it gets on the show. But we've got these coming at you weekly. Also, if you came for more sports entertainment, I know if you're not a cricket fan here in Australia, it's sort of a bit of off time for sport. But if you want to get your fix, Netflix. Sorry, was it Netflix? Actually, yeah, sorry. There's two great sporting docos to watch. Netflix has released the Aaron Rodgers docu-series sort of thing. Watched a couple of episodes of that, and that's been absolutely phenomenal. And then there's a new 30 for 30, the New York Sack Exchange, based on the New York Jets when they just had an absolutely ridiculous O-line. I thought that was pretty entertaining. It's fucking actually, yeah. I don't want to ruin it, but there's a maybe you've already seen it. Actually, this won't ruin it. So there's just like one of the clips from the 30 for 30 about the New York Sack Exchange has gone viral because it was these 4 hectic offensive linemen. And obviously there was 4 alpha males and sort of stuff. And then one of them was like a country boy. So like country boy moving to play for New York. And in the interview, he's like, the boys hazed me. He's like, fucking one time I sit down for lunch, I take a bite of my sandwich. There's just a fucking big shit in it. And the way he tells it, he's just like, rolls his eyes a little bit. Like, it's just like the classic fucking, I'm like, how do you have your lips wrapped around a sandwich that an offensive lineman's taking a dump in? And you're like, I think I need to bite down on this. Anyway, for crazy shit. Check out
actual shit.
Yes. So, dude.
Oh my God.
I was watching it with my mate, and I'd already seen the clip, and I was like, get a load of fucking this, because it went pretty viral on Instagram. And he had the same reaction. He's like, does he mean a literal shit sandwich? Because he just sort of says it so off the cuff. He's like, oh, fucking sit down for lunch. One of the boys shit in my sandwich. And we're like, is that a euphemism? Or like, no. Yeah.
I guess I'm imagining just this thick slice of shit, but I guess it'd be just a small turd.
Still, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if they do small ones. We just released GPP level 1. If you want your clients to run faster, jump higher, just be better in the weight room and know how to put it all together in a program. It's probably the best deal in fitness upskill right now. It's got a heap of content explaining all those concepts. It's a one-time payment, gets you access to monthly calls with the community as well. So check that out. It's down in the show notes, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.